Wheels? That's a good one. Right? We gotta keep him on his toes. Oh wait, my bad. He can't be on his toes. Damn, man, you're ruthless. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't just ignoring the harassment, he was joining in. Are you kidding me? Officer Jamal, you're supposed to be here to help. Help with what? Some light workplace banter? Looks to me like you're just looking for a reason to cry victim. Travis and Dean were grinning like they just won a prize. Man, Jace, you gotta lighten up. No wonder nobody likes working with you. This isn't banter. You've sabotaged my chair. You've made work hell for me. And yet you're still here. Sounds like you like playing the martyr. You're among those weak white men who are always crying to be helped. And yet you're still here. Sounds like you like playing the martyr. You're among those weak white men who are always crying to be helped. You should be glad to be associated with Travis and Dean. They're the few strong white men out there. I was shaking. I felt angry and helpless at how much he was humiliating me in front of my bullies. You know what, officer? Since you're here, maybe you should teach our boy Jace some survival skills, like how to stand up for himself. Nah, I think that ship sailed. Can't stand up if you never did to begin with. They all burst into laughter again. I felt so ashamed. I wanted to leave, but I refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. You're all pathetic. And yet, you're the one who came crying for help, weakling. I sat there and watched him exchange numbers with the guys, promising to see them around. Afterward, he left. The guys both mocked me and even pushed me off the chair before laughing and running off. Hi, my name is Jace, and this is my unfortunate encounter with a black cop. I rolled into the police station one day, my hands gripping the wheels of my chair tighter than usual. I hated going there. It wasn't the first time I'd had to report something, but it was the first time it had gotten this bad. The bullying at work had escalated. What started as whispers behind my back had turned into stolen files, coffee accidentally spilled on my lap, and even a few of my wheelchair's screws mysteriously loosening. I knew it wasn't all in my head. I needed to report it before things got worse. I reached the front desk at the station and cleared my throat. The officer behind it barely looked up. Hi, I need to report workplace harassment. Take a seat. I felt even more frustrated because, clearly, he hadn't even looked at me. I'm already sitting. That got his attention. His eyes flicked up, scanning my chair before he laughed as if I'd cracked a joke. Right, give me a second. He disappeared into the back, leaving me alone in the waiting area. My patience was running thin. I wasn't asking for special treatment, I just wanted to be taken seriously. A few minutes later, a tall officer walked out. He was different from the other officer, and his badge read Jamal Carter. He looked around the place before finally looking at me, as if he couldn't believe I needed help. You the one making the complaint? Yes, that's me. Jamal crossed his arms, staring at me like I was wasting his time. All right, what's the problem? It's about my coworkers. They've been harassing me at work, and it's becoming unbearable. Harassing or just joking around? Harassing. Joking around doesn't involve sabotaging my wheelchair. Are you sure it wasn't just an accident? Maybe you're being a little sensitive? No, I'm not being sensitive. Someone loosened the screws on my chair. I almost fell. But you didn't. Why are you being unnecessarily dramatic? I was so shocked. I couldn't believe I'd heard him correctly. How could he suggest me being dramatic? Are you serious? Listen, man, work environments can be tough. You gotta have thick skin. Maybe they're just treating you like everyone else. By sabotaging my chair? No, by not babying you. I couldn't believe he was implying that I was expecting special treatment. I don't need to be babied. I need to be safe at my job. And did anyone physically touch you? No, but then it's not a crime. You're being dramatic. He smirked, like he'd just won some argument. I knew I had no other choice. As much as I hated the way Officer Jamal was treating me, I thought he was still my best shot at getting this taken seriously. If I could just get him to see it firsthand, maybe he'd stop dismissing me. Come with me to my workplace and see it for yourself. You want me to waste my time following you to your office? For what? Because if you actually see what they're doing, maybe you'll realize this isn't just in my head. Jamal sighed, rubbing his jaw as if debating whether it was worth his time. Then, with an exaggerated groan, he nodded. Fine, let's go. but if I don't see anything serious, we're done here. I didn't respond. I just turned my chair toward the exit, pushing forward with determination. This was my chance. Thankfully, my workplace wasn't far from the station, so we walked there. But Officer Jamal refused to walk beside me. He crossed to the other side of the street, pretending we weren't together. I didn't mind. My main focus was to make him see I wasn't being dramatic. When we finally reached my workplace, he looked shocked. Wow, I didn't expect a guy like you to be working somewhere this nice. A guy like me? You know what I mean. How many of your fellow handicaps do you see working in such a big company? I was offended, but I didn't respond to him. As we entered the building, I immediately spotted Travis and Dean, my two co-workers and the main source of my misery. They were standing by the break room, laughing about something, but the moment they saw me, their smirks widened. Well, look who decided to roll in. Did you get lost on the way to the pity parade? I forced myself to stay calm, because that was my only chance to prove what was happening to Officer Jamal. Officer Jamal is here to investigate workplace harassment. Harassment, huh? You two picking on the little guy? Travis and Dean burst into laughter as if someone told a joke. Us? Picking on Jace? Nah, man, we're just keeping things light. He's part of the team. Yeah, we treat him just like anyone else. Ain't that right, Wheels? When they called me by that silly nickname again, I turned to Jamal, expecting him to at least say something. Instead, he was smiling. Wheels? That's a good one. Right? We gotta keep him on his toes. Oh wait, my bad. He can't be on his toes. Damn, man, you're ruthless. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't just ignoring the harassment, he was joining in. Are you kidding me? Officer Jamal, you're supposed to be here to help. Help with what? Some light workplace banter? Looks to me like you're just looking for a reason to cry victim. Travis and Dean were grinning like they just won a prize. Man, Jace, you gotta lighten up. No wonder nobody likes working with you. This isn't banter. You've sabotaged my chair. You've made work hell for me. And yet you're still here. Sounds like you like playing the martyr. You're among those weak white men who are always crying to be helped. You should be glad to be associated with Travis and Dean. They're the few strong white men out there. I was shaking. I felt angry and helpless at how much he was humiliating me in front of my bullies. You know what, officer? Since you're here, maybe you should teach our boy Jace some survival skills, like how to stand up for himself. Nah, I think that ship sailed. Can't stand up if you never did to begin with. They all burst into laughter again. I felt so ashamed. I wanted to leave, but I refused to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. You're all pathetic. And yet, you're the one who came crying for help, weakling. I sat there and watched him exchange numbers with the guys, promising to see them around. Afterward, he left. The guys both mocked me and even pushed me off the chair before laughing and running off. Days turned into weeks, and almost every day, Officer Jamal made a point to show up at my workplace. He wasn't there to check on any cases. He was there to join Travis and Dean in their torment. It became a routine. They'd stand around my desk, making offhand remarks loud enough for others to hear, but low enough to maintain some plausible deniability. Must be nice, getting that special treatment, huh, Jace? Rolling around while the rest of us actually work. Yeah, man. You think they let you stay just so they don't look bad for kicking out the office mascot? Y'all are too much. But hey, gotta admit, he does add some diversity to the team. I refused to react. I knew what they wanted. They wanted to see me break, to lash out, to give them a reason to turn things around on me. But the worst part wasn't even their words. It was the way Jamal treated Travis and Dean like his closest friends. He was being racist to me for being white, but wasn't the same to Travis and Dean. You boys let me know if Wheels here gives you any trouble, all right? Can't have him thinking he runs this place. They laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. Every day, the humiliation piled on. Every day, I endured it. Until one day, everything changed. My boss called me into his office. I wondered if something else had gone wrong, if I was about to get blamed for something, or if Travis and Dean had told him something that would lead to me losing my job. However, the reverse was the case. One of the interns came to me yesterday. He told me about everything. He knows what has been happening, the way those men have been treating you, the officer too. Oh no. I'm so sorry, sir. I can't stop them because it might lead to a fight or worse. You don't have to explain or apologize. You don't have to defend yourself. I should have seen it sooner, and I'm sorry. I had spent so long thinking no one noticed, or worse, that no one cared. I felt so touched. I will handle this, trust me. The next day, everything came crashing down. 2 uniformed officers, both white, walked into the office. The room went silent. Travis and Dean looked up, confused but unconcerned, until the officers walked straight toward them. Travis Miller, Dean Coleman, you're both under arrest. For what? What the hell is this? You can't just arrest us. Yes, we can, and we are doing that now. Let's go. They were handcuffed right there in front of everyone. My boss stood beside me with his arms crossed, watching everything unfold. Can I come with you, sir? Of course, this is about you. We arrived at the station, where I was met with an even bigger surprise. Jamal was there too, and he was in cuffs. His usual stupid smirk was gone. Officer Carter. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. I didn't expect to see you here. This is some bullshit. You really think you can take me down? I'm a cop. Not anymore. You were a cop who bullied a citizen in need of your help. Shame on you. I filed my case against all 3 of them, and this time, it wasn't just my word against theirs. 2 witnesses from my office stepped forward. They had seen everything, and they spoke up. And then there was the security footage. The cameras had caught it all, including the audio. They were done for when the case was scheduled for hearing. The 3 of them desperately tried to stop me from pursuing it, but I refused. They needed to pay for torturing me. At the court, all 3 were found guilty. Officer Jamal was insulted by the judge for being the opposite of what his uniform and title stood for. He was completely stripped off power and got an extra 1-year imprisonment to the 5 years each of them were given. On their way to jail, the car they were in was involved in a fatal accident. The driver and the officer in the car sustained just little injuries, but Travis, Dean, and Officer Jamal, who were at the back of the car, all suffered spine injuries. After 6 months of receiving treatment, they ended up in wheelchairs. When I heard how karma had repaid them for their evil deeds, I felt happy and grateful to the universe. They got what they deserved. I later heard that the 3 of them are now called wheelchair boys and are constantly mocked by other inmates. The funny part is that no one cares when they complain, and people openly make fun of them. Since they're disabled, they can barely defend themselves. I even heard that Jamal was once pushed down a flight of stairs, and the inmate who did it just shrugged it off as a mistake. The worst part? The 3 of them were forced to race for the entertainment of other inmates. I still plan on visiting them. What do you think I should say? Comment below.